Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to play with some new makeup. This is not first impressions. I have been using this makeup for a while, so I can't wait to show you how they look. So if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe down below. It would help me out so much, and let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply my favorite. This is the Supergoop Play Sunscreen. SPF 50 is just a nice moisturizer. So my brows are already done, and for that I've used the e.l.f. Wow Brow in the shade Deep Brown with the NYX Brow Glue. These are so affordable and so beautiful to work with. I love them. You can see how nice the brows look with them. But yeah, I've already done that off camera. That's boring. Now let's move on to primer. Now this primer I got in a BoxyCharm, and this is the Skin Ink Supplement Bar Serum Glow Filter. It has a long name. It looks so pretty. It has those nice beads, kind of like the Chanel foundation and the Rose Ink foundation. When it comes out, it's a pretty thick consistency. You have to pump a couple times for it to come out, and that's what it looks like. This seems again very hydrating, very illuminating. It doesn't feel sticky or oily. It just feels kind of like the Supergoop sunscreen. Okay, so let's move on to foundation. For foundation, I'm going to use my Shiseido foundation. This is a luminizing fluid foundation in the shade Neutral 3, and you're supposed to shake it well. It says that this is made in the USA. Oh, and stay tuned because today we're going to play with the Subculture Anastasia palette. Look at those shades. These are so pretty. I'm so excited. So I'm just going to pump one pump for now, and we'll see if we need more. And I'm going to use my BK Beauty 101 brush and push everything in. Now, with this foundation, my primer that I've used before was the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and the foundation looks stunning. So this is the first time I'm using this foundation with this primer, and hopefully it's gonna look as stunning as with the Charlotte Tilbury one. This is such a beautiful, beautiful foundation, very hydrating. And right away I've noticed that if you don't use it with a very brightening or illuminating primer, the foundation still looks luminous, but not as luminous as with the hydrating primer. So add a little bit more in this area here. Oh, such a pretty foundation. Definitely recommend this foundation. See how beautiful this looks? Perfect. Okay, now let's move on to a concealer. For concealer, I'm going to use my new Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer, and this is in the shade Meringue 2.1N. I have been using this concealer ever since I've got it, and I've reviewed it on my channel, and I can tell you that the best way to use this concealer if you have dry skin or mature skin is to not set it with powder. When I use it on my eyes, I will set my eyes with powder because I don't want them to crease. But I will show you my favorite way to use this concealer. So pretty. So I'm going to draw a line like that, and outer corner of my eye, and then the rest I'm gonna put on my eyelids. And I'm gonna go in with a dampened sponge and push everything in. And then whatever I have left on the sponge, I kind of spread it all over. Look how beautiful this is. It's so brightening and it's so mattifying, but at the same time also luminous. Very beautiful, interesting product. Doesn't go into my fine lines, and it doesn't dry up the skin underneath my eyes. It doesn't make me look any older than I am. It's just very beautiful, and I have been wearing this for the past week since I posted that video, and every day, every morning, and by nighttime my under eye area looked very beautiful non-cakey, non-drying. I have been loving this concealer. I'm going to use my regular powder, my Pat McGrath under eye powder, and I'm just going to set my eyes. Now let's move on to my next wonderful unique product. This is the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer. Mine is in the shade medium dark. I'm going to use a BK Beauty 106 brush, and I'm just going to enhance my skin. So Mario says add it to the perimeter of your face, and instead of blending it upwards, you blend it downwards to give your nice face a little bit of punch of color there. Oh, it's so pretty. It's such a pretty shade. I got mine in the shade medium dark because with cream products, again, when you blend them, they just blend into the skin and blend away. Oh, it's so pretty. You see this? This is definitely a must to have in your collection. Makeup by Mario has a lot of beautiful products. I'm a big fan of his makeup and his line. My favorite are the blushes and now the skin enhancer for sure. So whatever I have on my brush, I'm just gonna bring it around. But isn't this pretty? Isn't this pretty? Look how beautiful it looks. It definitely is just magic for your skin. Let's apply highlighter. This is an older product. I don't have a new highlighter. This is the Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Mesmerize. And I'm just going to apply highlight first before we go in with the next products, because I like the highlighter to be kind of underneath the other products so that it looks a little bit more natural. And don't be afraid of this shade. It looks pink, you can see, but when you apply it, it just becomes one with the skin and it just adjusts, seems like, to your skin color. But look how beautiful that glow is. Okay, so let's move on to another product. This is newer in my collection, and this is the Dior Forever bronzer in the shade 05 Warm Bronze. The packaging is so pretty. It's just kind of like leather and very cushiony, and this is what the product looks like. So for this, I'm going to use the same brush. This is the 106 brush, and apply this bronzer on top of that Mario Skin Enhancer. So with this, I'm just gonna bring it upwards. I don't want to bring it towards my middle of my face. I find that you need to kind of set this skin enhancer with a powder of some sort to last it a little bit longer throughout the day. And then you can go in with your beauty sponge and push it in more so that you can get rid of any sharp lines. Complexion looks beautiful. I almost dropped it on the floor. It's all safe. And Kona's right underneath there too. I'm mostly worried I don't want to hurt Kona. Next, let's move on to blush. This is a new blush in my collection. Of course, again, my favorite, Patrick Ta. And this is She's a Doll. This is the pink one that I've always wanted. And yeah, let's put it onto the face. I don't know how this is going to go. You know what? I really don't know how this is gonna go with the look I'm gonna create today, but you know what, it doesn't matter. It's just a full face of new products that are, you know, I have been testing out lately. So let's go with this. Let's go with the, which brush? I'm gonna use a Blinked brushes. This is the F5 brush, and I'm gonna go into the powder. And I forgot that the powder one is very, very intense, and the cream one is a little bit less intense when it comes to this blush, but we're gonna bring it down, don't worry. It's gonna slowly blend into the skin, I hope. I've been liking for summer a little bit more pink like this. I don't know why. I usually am into more peach, more bronzy type of blushes. Now let's go into the actual cream part, and I think I'm gonna go with the beauty sponge and just add, to give it that type of glow, so I like to add this one. This is how you're supposed to use this blushes as per Patrick. He says to just apply the powder first and then go in with the cream, because then you get this nice highlighting effect. So I like to add it right here where I put the actual highlighter. And now with the other side of the sponge, just go over it like this. So if it's too much, you can go in and push everything with your foundation brush without adding any more foundation. And you have this nice melting blush into your skin with a little bit of pop of color. And you can see how intense it is in here and how beautiful it transfers to the face. Now let's see here. Oh, let's powder. So for powder, I have the Dior Backstage Face and Powder No Powder product, and I'm just gonna powder kind of around this area where I like to usually touch. And I think for that I'm gonna use a BK Beauty 104. You can see I have been using this powder a lot. And just add some right here, and that's it. I don't, whatever's left, I just push here. Don't like to add too much powder, just a little bit to set this area up where I normally touch a lot. So let's move on to eyes, and this is the Anastasia Subculture palette. I haven't used it because I wanted to use it on camera. It comes with a brush, which we're gonna use today. This brush seems smaller than my other ones, or maybe it's just I'm imagining. This is what the brush looks like. Let's have a sip of coffee. I'm gonna zoom you in and let's get started with the eyes. Let's make sure there's no creasing, which there's no creasing so far, which is good. I'm gonna take this off, listen to this. A little bit of ASMR, I love ASMR. So let's get started with, I'm not sure which shade I should go in. Let's go in with Dawn for now, which is this very light, very similar to my skin tone color. Now I've heard that this type of palettes are very powdery. So from Anastasia Beverly Hills, her shades are very powdery. So I have to go in very slowly. Yes, the minute you touch it, becomes powdery right here. So just go in slowly, and we're gonna add this type of shade. I wanna see how dark it is compared to my skin tone. Just a little bit darker, not much different, but that's okay. We're gonna set the eyes, and I'm gonna go into New Wave with the same brush. Just tap the excess off. I heard, oh, I should have done my face after, because with this being so powdery, there's gonna be fallout. But if you go in slowly, the brush is not very good. I don't like the brush. I'm gonna use my own brushes. If you go in very slowly and don't push too hard, going gentle on the eye, it should be okay. So I'm gonna go with a BK Beauty 202 brush in the same one, New Wave. Just put in the tip of the brush and barely touch the skin, and then slowly blend. So this I'm putting above the crease. I actually love how this blends. I've seen one person review this palette a long time ago when it came out. I know this is not a new palette, but this is new in my collection, and I was very attracted to those shades. I love this like mustard color, the greens, the browns. It has a white in it, and it has a very dark grungy purple, which is similar to like almost a black. Now let's go in with, I don't know with what. I want to use the greens today, so maybe Destiny. I'm gonna go in with Destiny, which is this nice green, with the same brush for now, and see how it works, and put it into the crease. They're very pigmented. They blend beautiful. And I think now I'm gonna go in with this dark green Untamed right here. So I'm gonna use a BK Beauty 203 brush and add this green in the outer corner only to darken up this area. Wow, Okay, and I'm gonna go into my first brush and just blend it a little bit. I love greens. I think that looks pretty. And now let's go into this electric green. And I'm gonna use my finger for this. Let's see. Look at that. That's such a beautiful green. It's very creamy. So, wow. A little bit goes a long way. Put my finger in too much so I can transfer to the other eye with whatever's left on my finger. Oh, okay, this is my favorite shade. Look at that. So pretty. Let's move on to the bottom lash line, and I think I'm gonna use a BK Beauty 204 brush. I'm gonna go into Destiny, which is this lighter green. Add this on the bottom lash line. So far, no fallout at all. The trick is they are very powdery. So if you go in too much with the brush inside and swirl it too hard, there's gonna be a lot of powder everywhere. If you are very gentle and you just touch and you slowly build out on the colors onto your eye, you're not gonna have any problems with this palette. So that's my tip for you. So I'm gonna go in with the Untamed green now, which is this darker green, and just add it in the outer corner here, only up to the middle of my eye. I'm not gonna bring it all the way in. So I'm gonna use a BK Beauty 207 brush and just kind of smudge this. What do you guys think? So stunning, this green. Okay, now it comes with this white shade right here, which is called Cube. So I'm gonna go in with a small brush like this and grab some and just add this in the inner corner here. This has like a shift of pink from what I see. I think that's good for the eyes for now. So I'm gonna get off camera, add some mascara, and for mascara I'm gonna use my usual Essence Princess Lash mascara. And yeah, this is what the eyes look like up close. I think that they turn out great. I will give you my final thoughts at the end on all these products. But for my lips, I have used the Morphe lip liner in the shade Crush. So I'm going to use a BK Beauty lipstick in the shade Self Love. This is such a beautiful shade. This is a very interesting color with my green eyes, but I think it looks really nice because it matches the pink blush. So that's why I chose this type of lipstick. And I'm going to pair it with the lip oil by Dior in the shade Raspberry one. This is such a beautiful lip oil. And just add a little bit in the middle of your lips. And that's it. Ooh, this combo is so pretty. So, okay, final thoughts. Final thoughts now. Okay. Primer from BoxyCharm. I love this primer. This is again by Skin Inc. This is a Korean brand. Primer looked wonderful. It did not make the foundation peel or cake. Love it. Nothing bad to say about that. The Shiseido foundation, this is a very illuminating and glowing foundation. So if you pair it with a glowing primer and you have oily skin, be careful because it's gonna look oily. But if you have dry skin like I do, this goes with an illuminating foundation, with an illuminating primer, and with a mattifying primer. This is a very favorite of mine foundation. Up there, top twos. Why is it that every time the makeup is done, there's a fuzz or a piece of hair on the face? Why? For highlighter, I recommend this Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Mesmerize. It is just stunning. This is my new favorite concealer, the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer in the shade Meringue 2.1N. I have been using this non-stop. It's not creasing, it's illuminating, it's mattifying, it's high coverage. It is one of the best concealers. Definitely recommend this concealer. It is just beautiful. Now, this is probably one of my most favorite interesting products I have in my collection. This is the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer in the shade Medium Dark. It's just a very balmy bronzer that enhances your skin. It gives the skin a little bit of a nice bronzy shade to it that, I don't know, it does something really beautiful to the skin, and I just love it. I love it. And you can pair it with a powder on top and it doesn't become patchy. It's just, I don't know, magical. It's just beautiful. And of course I paired it with the Dior, and this is the Dior Powder, and this is the Forever one in the shade 05 Warm Bronze, and it looked beautiful paired with this. It's just a very nice bronzer to use on its own or top your cream bronzer with. I love it. It's not patchy. It just blends nicely into the skin. And the Patrick Ta blush in She's a Doll. It looks very intimidating, very pink in here. This is more very powerful when you put it to your skin, so a little bit goes a long way, but it blends very nicely. And when you top it with the cream one, the cream one has more of a subtle shade, has a subtle feeling to it, so when you apply it to your skin, it just gives it that nice glowy effect. So this combo is just so pretty on the skin. And the Dior powder looks beautiful. It has not made my face look drying or creasing on wherever I've applied it. It's just a beautiful powder to have in your collection. And I think that the last is this palette. Now this palette, look at those shades. I love the shades. They're so pretty. I don't know if I can bend it. I don't want to break it. Yes, I can. Okay. So the shades are so pretty. I've used the... where are they? I've used this one, Dawn. It's very similar to my skin color, so it's good to kind of set your concealer with. I've used the New Wave. This is a beautiful shade. Then the Destiny, Untamed, and Electric. Electric is my favorite shade. I see another one like this, so we can use the Adorn when you create more of a smoky brown look. But I think Electric is just stunning, beautiful shade. Reminds me of a Pat McGrath type of shade. But this palette, for me, it's a must to have in my collection. I don't buy a lot of palettes. I like quads lately more, but I had to get this because I love every shade in here. There's not one shade I don't like, and I love the color story. I love the size. Again, keep in mind that they're very powdery, so a little bit goes a long way. Go slowly with your brush and blend gently and keep going in and blending. Don't go hard on it to apply. They're very pigmented to apply all over the eyelid, and they become very powdery and either could be fallout. I had no fallout with this, but I have heard people who did have fallout because of how powdery they are. So just go very gentle and apply, and you're not gonna have any issues. Only thing I don't like about it is the brush. Brush is not very good quality. I don't know, maybe this end is, but this fluffy one, you can see the hairs, and I don't know, they're very harsh, they fall out. I don't like this brush at all. I didn't enjoy the brush. But palette, one of her best palettes from what I own by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I loved it, love it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this review on, not a review, like a full face of all of these products that are the newest in my collection. This is not a first impression video. I have been wearing this for a while with the exception of the palette. So I'm very happy with all of them. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe down below. It would help my channel out so much. I would really appreciate it. I wish you all a wonderful day. Always remember to be yourself, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.